Welcome to Fan Counters. My name's Nick.
And I'm Elizabeth.
You can follow us on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Fan Counters Live. We're also on Facebook. And if you want, you can email us at hello@fancounters.com. And on your favorite podcasting platform, make sure you go there. Give us a review, 5-star review. Some people don't know how reviews work, which we haven't had this problem, but I've heard somebody do a 1-star review and say, this podcast was awesome. Well, you didn't realize you had to give them 5 stars.
Yes.
So anyway.
Like us. Please like us.
What if I told you that today on the show, we are going to be talking with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon? Why are you laughing?
Because you're a really good producer, but you're really not that good.
Not yet, maybe.
No.
We don't have them here. Okay. But come Oscar season next year, you might be hearing more and more comparisons between Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and our guests today.
Oh. Who's on the show today?
Michael Pugliese and Prem Singh not only wrote the upcoming film Tiger, which opens in theaters today, but they also star in it. This movie's perfect for your date night plans this weekend. The story centers around a boxer who's banned for refusing to back down from his beliefs. So what's the guy to do? He's going to fight back. And as a consequence, his legacy is going to be forever tied to his 2 biggest battles, one in the courtroom and the other in the ring.
Today, Prem and Michael are here to give us the ultimate preview of this film, Tiger, which stars Micky, Rourke, and Pretty Little Liars actress Janel Parrish. Tiger opens in more than 500 theaters this weekend. Go check it out.
Coming to you from nowhere near the entertainment capital of the world, this is Fan Counters with Nick and Elizabeth on the PodFix network.
There was this mob of people, and they're screaming my name.
Crazy fans.
Stop following me. Don't come around my house. If you do, the cops are going to be at yours. If I'm having dinner with my wife, don't sit down at my table. Don't follow me into the bathroom. Can I take a picture? We're going to, oh my God.
I think this guy wants to fight me. Ended up being a fan.
I'm the only one that's ever been on Sam Jackson and lived to tell about it.
Well, guess what? I have a big surprise for you.
That's why we call it Fan Counters.
I don't think you're going to last on the air very long.
Prem and Michael, welcome to Fan Counters. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Now, being an independent filmmaker myself, I'm really excited to have both of you on Fan Counters to talk about Tiger. And before we get into the film, can you guys each take a little bit of time to tell us a little bit about you? Things like where you grew up, how you met?
Okay. My name is Prem Singh, actor, writer. I play the role of Pardeep Nagra in the film. Michael and I met in acting class back, I guess, 2011, 2012. And what happened was I kind of pitched this story to Mike about Pardeep Nagra's story, and which is about a Sikh man that was banned from the sport of boxing due to his religious beliefs. And when I pitched the story to Mike, Mike thought this was an excellent story, and he thought that we should have a run at the screenplay. Now, with 2 guys that have no experience in writing a screenplay, we kind of did our homework, and we just took a shot at it. And we liked what we wrote, and we started to develop the movie further from there. But, as we started writing this more and more and more, we kind of fell in love with the process, and we kind of fell in love with, we had this drive to make sure we get this movie made. And it was one hell of a journey from beginning up until now, but I couldn't have done it without Mike. And, he's a brilliant actor, and he's a great writer, and, he's...
Stop.
he's really good at what he does, man. So he made my job a lot easier. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, we met in acting class a number of years ago. We both born and raised in Toronto, and we both started working in front of the camera as performers and actors, and the roles we were getting here in the city weren't anything that we were truly happy about. We wanted to start going out for leading characters or supporting characters, strong, driven, films, and we weren't getting any of that. So we kind of put it into our own hands and created our own destiny by, writing the screenplay and getting it off the ground and moving forward. We're firm believers if you want anything accomplished in life, whether it's a film or whatever, you put your mind to it and you put your blinders on and you just go get it done. So that's our story. We just 2 boys from Toronto who wear our passion for film on our sleeves.
And we're hearing a lot more about that lately with different distribution outlets. Not only can you have a traditional route like theaters, or even now with the Netflix, Amazon thing happening, people have said if you have a project and you want to make it, you can release it for free on Vimeo or YouTube. And, if you want to be making stuff, you can make stuff. So it's excellent that you did take it into your own hands.
We're looking out for both of your completed projects, and you have several shorts that you both worked on together. Were those projects made to be entered into film festivals, or maybe to kind of test how you guys worked well together?
I think it was a test. I think a lot of it was a test. I mean, Mike and I, our goal, I guess, our drive is acting. We love being in front of the camera. And when I would see Mike in front of the camera, it was kind of like this little competition, as Mike, he always says, right? There's a little competition that we would have with each other, and knowing that what we could do in front of the camera is great, but to try and to create a career out of it, and to take this into our own hands, we kind of had to see how we would work together. And creating these shorts was also part of for festivals, but it was also part of seeing how Michael and I could work together.
And obviously that went pretty well.
We're creative people too, right? Yeah, thank you. But we're creative. We're really creative people, and there's not enough time, that could go by when we're just not doing anything film related. So we kind of just, we have to somehow get those creative juices flowing and create something. So whether it's, directing or writing or even just producing something, we kind of just have to get that off of our chest, or else it just kind of builds up,
Now, before we talk about Tiger, I have kind of a film-related question for each of you based on your previous projects, just to kind of get familiar with where you have come from, other things that you've done. So, Prem, a breakout role for you came in the Canadian film Breakaway. It featured some big names like Rob Lowe and Drake and Ludacris, and it was actually a hockey movie. Now, you're pretty athletic. Yeah. Was it intimidating for you to take on an athletically demanding role with these big name actors, counting on you to get it right?
Yes, especially when I was offered the role for Breakaway. They asked if I could play hockey, and I said I had like 5-6 years experience, but I didn't even know how to skate. So I had I had a couple of months to kind of work with a hockey coach and work with an acting coach, and to really, A, learn how to play hockey, and B, work with an acting coach so I can, work well with Rob Lowe or these names that you mentioned in Breakaway. So, yeah, it was intimidating. I mean, being my first film, being a supporting in that film with these guys, you don't know what to expect, right? And I haven't been on set long enough to kind of gauge that. But it happened so fast. It's been so many years since that movie has been completed, and it was a great experience.
So you didn't know how to skate when you took the role. That's fascinating, because not only do you have to worry about acting, now you got to worry about staying on your feet. Did you have success learning that quickly? Because I've tried to ice skate with my kids, and I can't do it.
Yeah, no, luckily, it was kind of like I don't have a choice. So I better learn how to skate, and I better learn how to play hockey. So I trained six days a week. I rented ice. I got a hockey coach, and I learned, the basic stuff as crossovers and start and stops and all that kind of stuff. And I had a good 6 months to learn, and I'm lucky I picked it up. But I had some really good people that I was working with, because I'd look really stupid on the first day of the shoot if I didn't know how to skate.
So did you have to convince them that you would learn how to skate no matter what, or was it blind faith?
No, it was I know how to skate. It was I've been skating for so many years, so you don't worry about my skating.
Okay. Got it. That's what you
I
said.
was telling the producers.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said. And okay, great. So we got an Indian guy that knows how to skate. Great. Okay, so moving on. And it was I don't know how to skate. I ran home and I was I don't know how to skate.
Oh, I guess you're going to figure it out, right?
How quickly we will learn that.
6 months.
Yeah,
I was on time.
That's a good amount. Now that you can skate, do you do any hockey leagues out in LA?
Honestly, I after that was done, I haven't stepped on the ice after that.
Okay.
I kind of thought he was going to say that.
Well, see, now I would have thought, because I hear there's
No,
a
because
lot of
then
good...
Tiger came.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn how to box.
There you
Oh.
go. Yeah.
And now
I have
that's a
to
whole new different.
switch skill sets now.
So, Michael, in 2015,
yes.
2015, you starred in a highly successful award-winning film called Occupants. And after I discovered it and read about this premise, I actually have added it to the list of films I have to check out. So the premise is fascinating to me. So I was wondering, can you tell us a little bit about that film and your experience working on that?
Yeah, no, we got into it at an early stage. Prem and myself, we founded Running Tiger Films, and it's our banner where we produce and develop a lot of these short films that you were mentioning, but also Occupants as well. So we were in LA and we met with the director, Russ Emanuel. He presented this screenplay to us, and we it was a premise that really got our attention, but also because the characters got a chance to play two different roles, and I got the opportunity to portray, you know, a alternate reality of one character, and I got to, embody two different characters, and it was something that was really appealing to me. So it happened in 2015. Robert Picardo from Star Trek was on set, and we worked with him throughout the film, and yeah, it was an awesome opportunity. We shot in LA a couple weeks. It's a small micro budget film, but it does a lot on camera. You see a lot of it went to the camera. So and it's doing well. I don't know how many festivals it's been to. It's been to hundreds. It's won many awards. So I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of the team that put this thing together.
Yeah, I think 45 wins that film had, and more nominations than that. So
what is the premise of the film?
Yeah. It's basically a couple who find an alternate reality through their cameras surrounding their house. So the wife is a documentary filmmaker, and she's filmmaking a diet plan basically, and they're both going through like this physical change, and she wants to record their reactions, and they're eating less, and it's more of like a plant-based diet kind of deal. And while she's going through the footages, she's finding an alternate reality from their house. So it's kind of like this Blair Witch kind of project. It's like this handheld kind of camera feel to it, which looks and it looks really good. It looks really good. So yeah, you guys could check it out on Amazon.
So you both had some big experiences to showcase your talent, and you decided to write Tiger together. The screenplay is based on a true story of Pardeep Nagra, who grew up... Gosh, golly.
she can't read today.
I can't. All of a sudden, my brain just
We'll
stopped.
piece it together.
What drew you to the story, and what made you feel like it was needed to be a movie?
Prem kind of brought this to the table, and he's like, "Look, man, this is it's a good opportunity. We know, like, the guy lives in where we're from. He lives in Toronto, and it's a story that should be told. So the more I look into it, the more I've just seen all the beautiful, things that come along with this film. It's more or less just the movement, that's even bigger than the film itself. It's about shining light on a misunderstood religion. Not many people know how beautiful and peaceful and loving the Sikh religion is, and they just kind of relate back to whatever the media portrays Sikhism is, and it kind of gets misguided. So we want to try to educate the uneducated about the film. And I think as soon as we started writing about the film itself, we started understanding that this could be an educational tool, along with a great entertainment piece. So I think that was the reason that kind of propelled us to really focus our attention on this film itself. Because for me, being Canadian, an Italian Canadian, I didn't even know what a Sikh was. And I'm surrounded by Sikhs on a day-to-day basis. Toronto has a really diverse culture, and I didn't even know what a Sikh was. And the more I learned about it, the more I became, open-minded, and I understand about the religion. But now I also understand not to judge a book by its cover, and everybody has their own stories and their own journeys, and we all choose to believe and love whatever we choose to believe and love. So for me, it changed me. It changed the way I look at things, and we hope that Tiger does the same for others, and that it's the main reason why we focus all of our attention on creating Tiger into what it is now.
Acting is one aspect of filmmaking and making movies, but writing is completely different. So, looking back, can you pinpoint a moment where you might have felt like you were on your way to becoming a professional writer? And did that validation come from the both of you working together, or maybe somebody else who read the script and said, you guys are really onto something?
I think,
I don't think we're even.
Yeah, I don't think so. I was just gonna say I don't think it's professional. I think it was kind of like. Yeah, it's kind of like, listen, how do we get ourselves in front of the camera? And This is how we're going to do it. I mean, as Mike said earlier, auditioning was not easy, and it's still not easy today. And to create something and to try to get it made, we know what we're capable of doing in front of the camera. And some actors never get that opportunity to showcase what they're capable of doing if they never get that dream role. Right. So we decided, let's create our dream role. We kind of saw what Ben and Matt did for Good Will Hunting, and we thought, hey, look, if these guys can do it, so can we. And that's kind of what we kind of followed, and we looked up to those two actors, and we felt that we can do this. And so creating something to be professional writers was not something that we are looking for. I mean, we're always going to be creating stuff together, but this was our main focus, was to actually play the characters that we play.
And how did you find Pardeep, and what reaction did he have when you approached him about making this film with your idea?
When I met with Pardeep, Michael and I, we met. He doesn't live too far from us, so we happened to find him. We contacted him, and he was thrilled. I mean, he was thrilled that we wanted to make a movie on his life. He was very supportive. And he just had, I guess, that one request, and that was like, don't make his character that stereotypical Indian that is being portrayed on television or on the big screen. And that's kind of his only note to us. But he actually gave us free range to do what we liked to the story. He was very supportive in telling us about his entire journey, and he didn't get too involved in the actual making of the screenplay or the making of the film. His only request was, make this, make this about me, make this about not me being from India or portraying me as an Indian character. And that's the whole point of this story, is kind of like, this guy's an American fighter, and he just wants to be looked at as an American. And that was his goal, and I think that he's very proud of the final product.
If he didn't agree to have a story told, would that have mattered to you guys? I mean, could you have done the film without his endorsement?
Yeah, we could have. We could have just got, one of the hundreds of articles that were written about him and got the rights for that article in itself and created the story around that. But, I think it's really encouraging when, the guy who went through all of this is supporting our journey as well, and wants the story to be told, and has, full trust in us, and, allows us to be the creative people, and allows him to, be the guy to just feed us with as much information as he possibly could. And I think it means a lot more. We could have done it, but I think it just means a lot more having him on board and having him supporting us and the team throughout the journey.
Did you guys tell us how this idea, like how you discovered this idea? Was it news coverage that you guys had followed the story? Where was the original discovery of Pardeep's struggles?
I think we saw it on newspapers, and we saw it in on local television, and it was making a lot of
it was
news.
on every major. Yeah, it was on like every major publication throughout Canada, and I think it leaked, in the northern part of the States as well. Okay. So it was all over the place, every major publication, every news channel. And Prem is the one who actually, really seen it and then thought, man, this would be an awesome movie, because the guy, his favorite movie is Rocky, and to be like
okay.
the Rocky of our time, it's something really special. So he thought of the story, and he kind of just brought it to the team's forefront.
The main premise, though, or the center of the friction, is that he is a practicing Sikh and wants to keep the hair on his face, which is a big part of his religion. Is that correct? Is that like what he was mainly fighting about?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
mainly
no,
fighting.
yeah.
He's fighting for that. It's to a lot of people who don't understand the religion, and as Mike said, it's a misunderstood religion. Is the fact that look, it's just hair on your face. I mean, a lot of people say, "Well, go cut your hair," and when you see it, it's his identity, and it's about who he is and what he stands for, and that shouldn't have been a factor of him boxing. And that's what a lot of the premise is about, is the fact that it's just, these are the rules of boxing, and shave your beard or cut your hair and just follow the rules. And if his religion he's not about that, and it's very hard for someone to do that, especially when they're attached to something. So that's why, this it is following a Sikh man's journey, but it relates to a lot of people who have changed themselves for the sake of something, to get something. And we've seen it in a lot of communities. We've seen it with people who are gays or lesbians, and they've had this kind of struggle, or people who are transgender and have had this kind of struggle. So it relates to a lot of people. So to the small picture, it's just hair, but in a broader sense of things, it's much more than that.
Now, Prem, you play Pardeep in the film, and I hope I can get you to follow this question. Do you guys think that you had maybe a leg up because you were obviously very invested into the film, because you helped write it, you knew you were going to be acting in it? When you met with Pardeep to talk to him about the film, you were able to really suck in and take everything in that he had to say. Do you think if you hired an actor for that role instead, do you think that the movie would have a different feel because they wouldn't have had that first-hand connection to the struggle that Pardeep went through?
Absolutely. I mean, Mike and I have been developing this story for many, many years. And I don't think any actor could have that kind of experience. It's just because the project wouldn't come to them until the last minute.
Right.
But with us, Mike had a great sense of his character right from the writing of it. And he knew exactly what he wanted and how he was going to complement Pardeep's character. And he did a fantastic job at doing that. And playing Pardeep, and knowing Mike's capabilities as a performer and the role he was going to play, I knew exactly the type of Pardeep I needed to bring out for this thing. So, of course, we had a huge advantage because we had this in our mind for many, many, many years.
How long did it take you guys to write that initial script? And were there many rewrites after that took an additional length of time?
Yeah, I think it took us a couple months to get that first screenplay down. But the first screenplay was just like a bunch of scribbles. It hardly made sense. And 30 drafts later, with the help of our director Alistair Grierson, who closer to the last maybe, I don't know, less than 10 drafts away from like what we were all comfortable with, he really helped us. We were on the phone with Alistair for hours, 3-4 hours at a time, breaking down each character, breaking down each scene. And he would, he's from Australia, so we would have like these conference calls that would just last, hours. And he really helped us mold the screenplay into what he was confident and comfortable with, because at the end of the day, he's the captain of the ship, and we have to make sure that he's happy with the film. And us being, writers, first-time writers, we also, we wanted to be happy with the film, with the screenplay as well. So, yeah, there was many drafts. I would say probably around 30. And the last, handful, Alistair and our producers, helped get the screenplay to where you see it on screen. And even up until day of shooting, we were changing scenes. It's an ongoing process.
So when you finished the script, did you, obviously you tried to shop it around, and you tried to get someone to pick it up, correct?
Yeah, we for
years. We would cold call and send, 30 emails a day to a bunch of people and try to get people to just read it. Like,
Okay.
that was just a difficult task itself. We'd fly to LA and try to shake hands, and we print it out. Like our luggages were full of screenplays of Tiger, and we were just trying to hustle and pass it around and get people to read it. And then it finally, years of doing it, hours of putting in the work, we started getting, people that were interested in the storyline, and then interested in hearing our story, how we started and how we learned to write a screenplay. We learned to write a screenplay by finding screenplays online and then going on Rogers on Demand, video on demand, and watching the movie and reading the screenplay at the same time and seeing how it works. That's how we learned, and people were just totally interested.
That's a great way to learn.
It helped a lot, but
how something goes from paper to screen. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is very clever.
Yeah. So that's how we learned how to write, our first initial drafts, and then we just started getting, some interest from the screenplay, but also our story as well.
Were there any of those initial rejections that stand out to you guys as the one that really made you push forward and to say, you know what, we're just going to do this ourselves. We're going to get it done no matter what?
I think all of them.
I think every rejection.
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think every rejection kind of propelled us into us saying, you know what, whatever, we're going to do it anyway. Even up until today, the rejections we face on a day-to-day basis, it's like, okay, that's fine. Well, we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. With or without you kind of deal. And it's that mentality that kind of helped. It made us, want to do more.
Yeah. And they don't know what they're talking about. Oh, yeah, they don't know. Those people reject us. They have no idea what they're talking about. They shouldn't be in the business.
Yeah, they've been in the industry for 50 years, but,
Yeah.
they have no idea.
They're all wrong.
Well, they're about to find that out.
They're all wrong.
So once you decided to get this film made, no matter what, you try to get a star attached to it. So what do? Start stalking gyms to find people who will play Oscar-nominated boxers? What's the story there, boys?
Pretty much. Yeah, that sounds exactly. Yeah, we found out. When we wrote the screenplay, we always had Micky in mind. This guy's a legend, and he's amazing at what he does. He's born with this special ability to just embody these characters. But he's also a boxer at the end of the day as well. So we felt like this guy, he would be perfect. So Prem could literally find anybody online. He could find out you're at. He probably already knows where you guys live right now, or where you're.
Oh God!
Calling us.
Oh God!
That's how sick he is. That's how sick he is. That's how sick he is. But no, we found out. We found out where Micky trains in LA. He trains at Wildcard Boxing Club. With Freddie Roach, and we're like, you know what? Let's go down there and see if we bump into him. So we kind of took the next flight out and and went to this gym every day and ran into Micky.
Nothing creepy about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a great way to get people's attention. But off the air, Nick and I were talking that he didn't realize that Mickey Rourke was an actual boxer. Like, he stopped acting so he could go back and box. And I tried to encourage him to look at the before boxing Mickey Rourke and the after boxing Mickey Rourke pictures, because there's quite a difference in his appearance when he went on the boxing circuit.
He went full out. He gave up acting, for a number of years, and he had a couple professional fights around the world.
Yeah.
And he still trains to this day.
Prem, you got hit in the face pretty hard by Mickey Rourke during the filming of the movie. What was it like to step into the ring with him?
It wasn't pleasant. Right?
It was harder than ice skating.
Yeah, I wanted to put on my skates after one shot from Mickey. But he's like Mike said, he's a legend, and you kind of have to go with what his entire experience is as a performer. And when he hits you hard. He doesn't hold back. And it was kind of like, that kind of showed me that he was there, ready to do the best job possible. And when you guys see the film, you guys will definitely agree with what I'm saying, that he does a great job. I think all the actors do a fantastic job. So even Janel Parrish, she does a beautiful job. Alistair Grierson does a great job. Mike does an excellent job. You're really not going to like it, I'll tell you. And he hit me too. So it's not just about Micky hitting me. Mike hit me pretty hard too, a bunch of times in the movie. So, but yeah, getting those shots from Micky, they weren't pleasant, but it was. It turned out great.
Mike, well, let's clear this up just real quick. What's your role in the movie? Is what?
I'm basically the antagonist. I'm the bad guy basically in the film. I'm the guy who fights Prem in the end, and we have this tension throughout the film that leads to the final fight, basically.
Oh, so I was going to ask, were they actually the hits actually in the script, or was it just a good way to get some aggression out, as you're just hitting Prem because you can?
I wrote all the scenes where I knock out Prem. So I really wanted to.
Because I can.
Because
I can.
And I didn't see those scenes until the day of.
I can't.
Well, this is a charming rewrite. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, he hits me?
So you talked about Janel Parrish from Pretty Little Liars. How long did it take you, Prem, to develop the type of chemistry you were trying to achieve with her on screen?
Honestly, it wasn't long. It wasn't long at all. She's like I said before, she's
instant. It was day one shooting. I remember, man. That was day one of shooting.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was day one of shooting, and everybody. You guys are just so talented, and you guys just had that connection. Right as soon as they yelled action for the first time.
No, thank you, Mike. I mean, it's I think we're very, very lucky to have someone like Janel on set with us too, right? Because she was very easy to work with. It was short notice too, and she just does a great job as her character. And when you guys see what she does, you guys will see that she plays such an empowering role. I mean, it's not your typical role, so it's she was excellent. So it wasn't long for us to kind of build that chemistry.
Now, Michael, Prem has been very good, boosting up your acting ability and praising you in this film. Maybe tell us a little bit about Prem in the film. How good is he in this movie, and how well does he portray Pardeep?
He stinks. That's what Michael's going to say.
No. I was gonna say he's nothing special. I could get anybody.
Thank you. Let's under promise.
Let's underwhelm them so they're excited when something really exciting happens.
No, he's from inside and out. This guy he's a gem, and his ability to portray any character, from the small short films that we've done up until Tiger. He embodies them perfectly, and I think with Pardeep Nagra, sometimes you have to even, take a second look, how well of a job he does, and then you won't even recognize him. So he knows. I don't even have to say much.
No, he
knows.
He's too much. Mike is too much.
No, but he knows. It's mutual, definitely mutual. We're brothers. Look, at the end of the day, we share the same goals. We share the same drive, and that's what makes this partnership work, because we believe in each other and we praise each other's work. So
and we bring the best out of each other.
You can kind of tell that right now.
Well, I bring the best out of you. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you do. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm so excited for you guys to see this film, and whoever all you guys are listening, I'm so excited for everybody to see this film, because when you guys see how Mike and I are total opposites in this entire film, you guys would never think we're like brothers. And I think that's something that's going to shock a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, does the real Pardeep have any place in the film? Does he play an extra, or is he anywhere in the film?
Yeah, he came out. He came out to set. He came out to the set for a couple of days in Ohio when we shot, and he's not in the film, but he's he makes a little appearance at the end. In the end of the film.
Okay.
With the credits. Yeah.
You just mentioned it was filmed in Ohio. Did you guys pick Cincinnati for a specific reason?
Yeah, the crew. The crew's great there. The talent that is also there. The talent that we had to cast. From Ohio is great, and the location was just perfect. We had a couple of scouts. Our producers felt it was a great area. They shot a number of films just before Tiger, so we heard a lot of good things, and It's a we shot in Hamilton, Ohio, so it's a nice little town outside the city, and it was perfect. It was perfect.
So I think we read that you were hoping to return to Hamilton to do a special screening. Did you get a chance to do that?
Yeah, we're
not
organizing
not yet.
everything now, but
Okay.
But we haven't got to it. Yeah,
All
we
right.
haven't got to it yet.
Cool.
But you've screened this for other people already, right?
Yeah, we had a couple of private screenings for work in progress screenings, just to try to get the feedback from from the audience and see where we could the pros and cons of the film and how we could edit this and maybe do a couple reshoots to try to get it to where it is today. And so we did a couple of private screenings.
Okay, and you found that to be like helpful feedback. Did you incorporate some of those changes then after?
Yeah, no, totally. It's been a really heartwarming reactions that we've been receiving. Everybody, all different types of life and cultures and ages. We're getting great feedback, and some of the things that they brought back was that there wasn't, for the South Asian community, music is a really big deal for their culture, and we didn't really have that. So that was one of the suggestions throughout every screening we had, that we don't have like this track. So we went it upon ourselves and we created a music track with Manj Music, who's this Indian sensation who's like the Pharrell of India. He's a producer, singer, songwriter. And we have Fat Joe to feature in the film in the track. So we created this track for the ending credits. And it's a banger. It's great. We're getting great reactions from it, and we're throwing it in at the ending credits of the film.
Good.
So Alistair Grierson was the director. I know him best from James Cameron's hit film Sanctum, which I liked a lot. I saw it in 3D, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
But Michael, you had an amazing opportunity. You actually got to watch and shadow Alistair on set. Was he hesitant to allow you to do that because it might be distracting, or how did you worm your way into getting to learn step by step how to direct a film?
No, I just kind of showed up and breathing down his neck until he would tell me to screw off. But no, Alistair's he's a great guy, and he's so great at what he does. He really is. He has so much experience, especially with that film, Sanctum. That's what drew us to him. And we've had months and months to know each other when we were working on the screenplay before going to camera, that we already had this relationship and this bond that we've been working together to create the screenplay. So as soon as we went to camera, we were on set. We were probably there 2 weeks before we went to camera. We got to know each other a little bit more. We went to dinners, we had a couple of drinks, and we were working together every day. And I kind of just told him I would love to be, because I was on set every day, shooting. And the days that I weren't, I just told him I would love to just watch you work and try to absorb as much as I could. I was always on set anyway. It's just every day it was like a dream coming true. Whether I was in front of the camera or behind watching Prem do his thing, it was like I just wanted to take it all in as much as I possibly could. So yeah, he was totally about it. And every question that I had, he answered it with a smile, and we kept moving forward. So yeah, he was awesome.
Have you been able to implement some of those things you've learned on projects since then? Like, have you taken on a project to direct?
Yeah,
I keep telling him to direct.
Yeah, no, I directed a short film called Chiaroscuro that Prem stars in, and a couple other actors, Justin Sudar and Sarah Garcia, and we shot that in Toronto. A couple months after we wrapped Tiger. So yeah, I got a chance to try it out, and I enjoyed every second of it.
So it seems like this might be exactly the perfect time for Tiger to come out, being that it's about Americans or people fighting for what they believe in against a society that doesn't quite always understand. So what do you hope? Obviously, we hope tolerance, but what else do you hope from the film once it's out that people take away?
Quality, understanding, love for each other. There's a lot of focus on one positive thing, I'll tell you, is that there's a lot of awareness now with a lot of these movements that are happening, from Me Too all the way to Oscar So White and all that stuff. So there's a lot of awareness that's being brought to the forefront. Now it's about change. Now it's about implementing in implementing what we want as a society. And I think with films like Tiger, people can kind of say, okay, there's an example of change. And we hope to kind of pave the way for other South Asian filmmakers or people that want to talk about stories that nobody wants to make. So we hope that this could be the path. We hope that this can also start a conversation.
Yeah, we want to start a conversation about about really anything that's on other people's minds that they want to stand up for. Whether it's during our private screenings, we had children coming, and we got a chance to speak to them, and they were floored. Their parents were like, "This is great to be able to tell and to educate our children as they grow older, to not judge a book by its cover, and to understand where everybody's coming from, and everybody has their own path and their own path in life." And that's what we hope. We hope that there's a conversation between family members, between friends, between colleagues, peers. We just hope that there's a conversation and a different mindset moving forward after Tiger, just like we both have a different mindset after working on the film.
You said that there were obviously children there. Do you think it's appropriate for children, or are there a lot of boxing scenes where there's lots of bad things happening?
I think the only reason why we're assuming that it's going to be a PG-13 is just because of the boxing aspect.
Okay.
There's not gore. There's not bodies flying all over the place. There's a lot worse things that children are watching nowadays. But I think it's just for the rating purposes. I think it's just for the boxing.
Okay.
But yeah, I encourage everybody to go watch this film. All ages and walks of life. You'll all get something out of it for sure.
Now, you mentioned it yourselves, and all over the internet, when you search for the movie Tiger and read about you guys, there is that comparison to Matt Damon and Ben Affleck because of your tenacity in writing the film, bringing it to life. Does that add a little bit of additional pressure to have this movie succeed?
I don't think there is any pressure. I just think we both think it's such an honor to be mentioned in the same breath of air as these two individuals who really paved the way for us. And we looked up to these guys during this whole process, saying, they kind of paved the way for us, and they gave us the inspiration to fight to be in it and fight to create our own work and, fight to get this film made. And we look at them as, icons in our opinion. So to be mentioned as these two guys, it's nothing but it's kind of crazy. It's kind of surreal. There's no pressure at all.
Okay.
But if we even have half of the career that these guys had, I'd be extremely happy.
So Tiger has a social message, and since filming the movie, you've started your own company called Running Tiger Films. Do you have any plans to make more films with social undertones?
Yeah, I mean, our short film that we have, Chiaro, is kind of based on that, and it's kind of based on the Me Too movement, and it is about the effects of women abuse. So we are working on we would like to work on a lot of films like this and talk about subjects people don't necessarily talk about. So I guess that would be a lot of a mandate starting with Tiger. Is about social change and what we can do as filmmakers to inspire other people to kind of make that change as well.
Yeah, exactly. We want to inspire and motivate and, assist the world of cinema in a positive way, in a positive light. So although there's going to be projects that, might not have a social message, I think the majority of the work we want to start doing will have, because we feel we have this great platform where we can speak about things that are, a cause of some issues in this world or domestically here in America. So if we could get this platform once in our lives or 10 times, I think it's a great way to spread a message of positivity or spread a message that needs to be said. And we're gonna definitely do so.
What advice or inspiration would you give aspiring filmmakers who are trying to get their script made and produced and ultimately screened? What would you tell them?
It's gonna sound really, cheesy, but I think at the end of the day, it's just you really can never give up. I think that's what it really comes down to, because if you truly believe in something and you truly feel passionate about something and you have that burning desire for success, even outside the film industry, whatever it is, if you truly want something and it burns inside, just go out and just get it. No matter what happens, no matter what other people say,
just go out and do it and never give up and continue to do it and continue to go and continue to go. And it will happen. Well, it will happen.
You're right. Mike's 100% right. It'll just happen if you stay consistent towards something. And you can't take rejection to heart because everybody wants to say no to you. And everybody is going to say no to you. I mean, you hear many stories that a lot of filmmakers, they've passed on projects or they've passed on great films that went on to do wonderful things. So you got to continue to roll with the punches. But like Mike said, you just never have to give up. How do you beat someone who just doesn't quit? You can't.
Now, do either of you have children yet?
I do. I have 2 kids.
Okay, so you obviously are trying to instill in your children that the world is not necessarily 100% fair and that we're trying to find a way that everyone gets along. How do you explain that to your kids? How old are your kids?
They're 7 and 5.
Okay.
So my son is 7 and my daughter, she's 5.
Okay.
And at this age, it is very hard to kind of make them understand what life is all about. I think their innocence is very important. And they will, as a father, I plan to be there for a very, very long time. So, hopefully that I can be there and kind of guide them through their life and through the mistakes I've made or any of that stuff. But I think it's important from at a young age, you kind of teach your kids about positivity and about doing good and helping one another. And just these are the fundamentals and the basics and kind of harnessing their imagination and making it grow. And they're not going to know so much what's happening in the world today at this age. They'll eventually know when they grow up. But as a father, I just think that, I'm there to kind of guide them through that when they run into any troubles.
Are you going to let them? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, are you going to let them see the film?
Interestingly enough, my daughter does not want to see the film at all.
Okay.
She knows about it. She thinks it's boxing, and she thinks I'm going to get beaten up really badly, so she doesn't want to see me go through that. My son wants to see me get beaten up really badly, so he kind of wants to see that. So,
well, and that's what I was going to
Mike's
ask.
Very close to my kids as well, so he's like Uncle Micky to them. So they're like, so how did you beat him bad? And Uncle Micky's like, yeah, I broke his nose, and I did this to him, and all that stuff. And my son's all excited, so now my daughter's kind of scared now. She doesn't know cinema versus reality yet.
Yeah.
So he's excited. She's not.
Well,
she's going to stay home.
I think it would be very strange to try to explain that to it because I have an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old, and our podcasts are family friendly, and lots of times the kids hear it. And even though I'm standing next to her, it doesn't dawn on her how my voice gets into things. She'll look at me like, how can you be coming out of the computer and be sitting right here? And she's 8. She doesn't get it. And so I'm sure watching your dad
that's traumatizing for a kid.
watching your dad get beaten up on the screen would be like life traumatizing.
Imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's hard to figure out when you're 5. Good for her.
Definitely.
Tell her not to see it yet. Scare the crap out of her.
Tiger's opening this weekend, so tell us about what you're thinking and feeling as this huge, multi-year process for you will now end. What are you guys thinking as the film opens up?
Wow.
That might be the word right there.
I was going to say, was that the answer?
That was the answer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just honestly, it really is a dream come true. It really is, and to be experiencing this whole thing with Prem by my side, and we're doing this together, and our team behind Tiger, we're truly blessed and excited, and we hope everybody, leaves the theater feeling inspired and great and educated after watching Tiger.
Do you boys have any future projects coming up that you'd like to talk about?
We're focusing all of our time on Tiger. Literally every ounce of creativity and work is being put towards now promoting the film and getting it out there. So right now we have nothing on the go, but we do have a great team, with Casey and our manager Samir, and they're working around the clock to try to get us something after Tiger's release.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Guys, where can we find you on social media if we want to follow along?
I'm at Team Prem Singh for Twitter and Instagram, and Prem Singh on my like page on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'm my Instagram handle is MJ Pugliese.
Excellent. Do you want to spell that out for us just to make sure everybody gets it?
Yeah. MJ and then my last name, Pugliese. Pugliese.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us. We're wishing you amazing success with this film as it opens. We're really excited to go see it.
Yeah, we're excited to see it.
I saw the trailer.
Thank you.
And it looks amazing. The way it's shot, the way that they put that together, it definitely draws you in. It makes me want to see it. So, Tiger's opening this
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
you,
for
guys.
having us. We appreciate you taking the time, and we had fun. So thank you.
Our thanks to Prem and Michael for being on the show today, talking about their new movie Tiger, which opens in theaters this weekend. Go out and see it. Take your kids. It's okay. Probably maybe 10 and over, sounds like, because if it's
there
8-year-old.
is boxing.
Yeah.
And there's no good way to not be bloody or sweaty or spitty in boxing. Right. So they may not be ready for that.
But yeah, perfect date night movie because it's got the courtroom drama aspect for those of you who love the Law and Order type shows, and then the boxing for the guys who like Rocky, or women who like Rocky because,
They're
Do
half
you watch
naked.
Rocky?
I've
Well.
seen them all, yes.
It's not why I thought you'd like it. Okay.
I don't necessarily like to watch men beat up on other men, but I sure do like to see those muscles ripple. Hey, I'm just telling you how it is.
You can find us on social media. We are at Fan Counters Live on both Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and share our episodes with your friends.
And make sure you go on your favorite podcast and give us a like.
Favorite podcast player.
Thank you. Be sure to go on your favorite podcast player and give us a great review.
Awesome. Go see Tiger this weekend. Opens right now.
This was a podcast from the PodFix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
How do you beat someone who just doesn't quit? You can't.